Oh, come on! No! No! No, gosh, please! No! 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 Okay, you know how many times we have done the Michael Scott no, gosh, please, no thing on the YouTube channel? It's been quite a while since we've done it last, but we actually do have a good reason to bring it up this time because, man, oh man, we are talking today about one of the most unfortunate stories the Montreal Canadiens have had in years. Like, seriously, this guy and his circumstances with the Montreal Canadiens, how he's been so unable to play consistently, that's been a really big narrative surrounding this team, surrounding its lineup, and surrounding its second-line center spot, man. He was supposed to be that. Of course, we're talking about Kirby Dach. 24 years old, big dude, 216, right-handed guy, drafted by Chicago, 3rd overall in 2019. He was a player that was supposed to be the next Ryan Getzlaf. And I am essentially copying the same things that we said in a video 2 days ago, linking Dach to Vancouver. But this guy, assuming everything went right in his development, he was supposed to go out there and be maybe a 70, 75-point player, a center with some really soft hands and some stellar playmaking ability. Never really a top goal scorer, but a guy who could really make things happen on the ice. And he really did not show that off in Chicago. He was getting hurt left, right, and center. He missed the majority of the 2020-2021 year because he played for Team Canada at the World Juniors as the captain, and he got injured in the first preliminary game. It was bad. And then the next few years, Dach misses out the 23-24 campaign because he gets injured again. And then this most recent season, only 57 games played because he got injured again. This guy has not been able to stay healthy, and we have some terrible news for him and Montreal Canadiens fans, courtesy of donlescoulisses.com. Because according to a new report from Maxime Truman published earlier this morning, Kirby Dach is still not recovered from knee surgery. Oh boy. Let's go out there and read this. The article, was it in French? Yeah, it was in French, and I translated it to English via the Google machine. Let's go out there and read the scoop. 2 years ago today, Canadiens fans were optimistic about Kirby Dach's future in Montreal. The 6'4" forward had just collected 38 points in 58 games in his first season in Quebec, and many wondered if Dach didn't have a better chance of establishing himself as the NHL's top center than Captain Nick Suzuki. The last 730 days will have proven that it is not. But that's not the point this morning. Since joining the Habs, Dach has built a reputation as a fragile player. Virus, shoulder, upper body, concussion, lower body, knee, ACL and MCL, and knee again. Let's just say that injuries have not spared Dach since his arrival with the Habs. And in fact, Dach has been plagued by injuries for as long as he's been playing hockey. He has never played more than 70 games in a single season, and he's only reached the 60-game mark 3 times in 9 junior or pro seasons. Last February, he underwent a second operation on his right knee in the span of 18 months, even though he was playing in a rather sturdy brace, and after months of searching on the ice rink. Now, even though Jeff Gorton and Kent Hughes tell us that Dach is fine, we have our doubts, and that's normal. Especially when you consider that with the Canadiens' recent additions and departures, Dach is still the team's second-line center in the organization. Now, this is where we get into some of the speculation, because last week, Truman was wondering where Kirby Dach was. The reason for that is because we saw plenty of Canadiens players skating regularly at the CN complex this summer, but not Dach. He only laced up his skates once in Brassard since the end of last season, and he wasn't skating at full speed. He clearly seemed to be rehabbing. Plus, I had to do some serious work to spot him in a video at Nick Suzuki's wedding. Now, This is the scoop that's being talked about by Habs fans. Maxime Truman, the writer of this piece, learned yesterday that Kirby Dach was spending the summer in Edmonton with Caden Gooley. Dach is from Fort Saskatchewan, and Gooley is from Edmonton, both cities in Alberta. And that Dach was still in rehab. Now, I actually had to do some Googling myself. I was like, wait a minute, Fort Saskatchewan is in Alberta? Yeah, it's right there. It's a city in Alberta, even though it's called Fort Saskatchewan. And it's just north of Edmonton, so yeah, there is some very close connection there between Kirby Dach and Caden Gooley, you can say, two WHL products who are from Alberta doing their thing together. But this is the scoop here. Dach is still hurt. He is still in rehab 5 months after his most recent knee surgery. And about 40 days before the start of training camp, Dach is still not recovered and ready to play. However, on February 28, Habs sources told us that Dach would be at 100% in time for the team's training camp. Good sources spotted him in an Edmonton gym doing squats with weights that looked like the ones I used to take when I went to NCon Fitness, not the one an NHL player uses. Okay, now that is just kind of rude. But this explains why, when he came to Montreal for his captain's wedding, Dach couldn't or wouldn't skate with his teammates. Seeing him skating with limitations would certainly have panicked Montreal Canadiens fans. Note that Dach is also keeping very quiet on social media. His last post was in November of 2024, probably in an attempt to be forgotten, to go unnoticed. Spending the summer in Alberta rather than in Montreal or with his buddies in Osheaga makes sense when you think about it. And so, hearing this update from Maxime Truman on DonLesCoulisses.com, you could question the source. You can question whether or not it actually is accurate information here. But it would be a reasonable answer to a lot of our questions that we have had over the past few weeks here. Hey, where is Dach? Where is he? Is he not skating with his teammates in Brassard? Where was this guy at Suzuki's wedding? Was he actually there? Etc., etc., etc. A lot of people have been wondering these things. But if this is actually the case, that he hasn't been skating in Brassard because he's still hurt, because he is not recovered, because he's still going through rehab, if that is the case, then man oh man did the Montreal Canadiens really luck out with acquiring Kirby Dach all those years ago. Man, should we have seen the warning signs? I have no idea. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this bad update on Kirby Dach and his health status? He's going to the gym, he's working out, but he apparently is still going through rehab, and he's apparently not healthy enough to go out there and skate in Brassard. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.